Hello, I'm a student from Primary School of Advancement, and recently me and my team were assigned with making a project on polymerase chain reaction, also known as PCR. To give some background, the PCR is a fast, efficient, and quick lab technique that works to amplify segments of DNA or make millions of copies of DNA. The PCR was discovered by Carey B. Mullis in 1985. He received a Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1993. Although Mullis received the credit, the scientific community as a whole was responsible for this discovery. The finding that proved that the DNA was a double helix in 1953 created a snowball effect of research on DNA, laying the groundwork for Mullis. Today, the technique is widely used in many industries and research advances. To give some examples, the PCR is essential in molecular biology, diagnostic medicine, consumer genomics, environmental microbiology, phylogenetics, forensic science, food and agriculture, and more. The technique itself is made up of 3 steps: denaturing, annealing, and extension. During the denaturing, the double-stranded DNA is separated into 2 single strands by increasing the temperature. Next, during annealing, the temperature decreases, allowing the DNA primers to attach to a single-stranded DNA. Finally, during extension, also known as elongation, the temperature rises back up, activating the tau polymerase, resulting in the multiplication of the target DNA. Although the PCR is widely used and accepted method, me and my group want to test the reliability of the PCR. Today, the PCR is run throughout the world in different conditions, and we wanted to test if the results of a PCR were reliable enough when certain components were missing or incomplete. We made it our goal to reassure researchers who use the PCR technique daily of its reliability by comparing PCR results run in different conditions. During the course of our project, we ran 5 PCRs, one of which served as a control. The control was a complete PCR test with correct results, while the remaining tests were run by removing different components of the PCR, such as the primers, temperature regulations, tau polymerase, or DNA-based nucleotides. We inserted the selected parameters into our virtual PCR simulator and recorded our results. As we can see on the picture, every PCR run without the correct parameters failed and resulted in no solution, proving that the PCR is only reliable if run perfectly, and the compromised tests are not reliable and should not be regarded as data or evidence and should not be used in research. In addition to the PCR results, we documented each test on a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet explained how and why each PCR failed, in which step the failure occurred, and more. The spreadsheet further explained why the PCR was not dependable in differentiating conditions. Through our project, we also documented our daily progress on a notebook. We detailed our progress and hardships. For example, in entry 4, I explained how challenging it was to find a PCR simulator that fit the needs of our project. Finally, thank you for your time. Harmony School of Advancement.